Hi everyone. Welcome once again to this session. We'll have a topic on discussion regarding health. And my name is Bern, and basically I'm an anti-aging consultant. I help my clients to look and feel even younger than their age through the right anti-aging supplement. And today's topic is on weight loss using intermittent fasting. And of course, weight loss has always been a very hot topic. And a lot of people are actually looking for the magic pill, looking for the magic formula or solution. However, it's never about that. It is all about finding the right program that is both sustainable for you and on the long run, and at the same time actually improves your health in that sense. So today we have invited Catherine, founder of Aman Wellness. She's a nutrition therapist who actually helps people to improve their health issues through nutrition and also supplementation. And she also specializes in consulting with cancer patients and also ladies with hormonal issue. Let's welcome Catherine.
Hi everyone, welcome to our intermittent fasting session.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vern. Nice to see you again.
Definitely same here. Now, of course, today's topics on intermittent fasting. So can you just share with us what actually is intermittent fasting?
I believe a lot of times, or at least most of the questions that I get is, what kind of diet is intermittent fasting? Now, intermittent fasting is not really a diet per se. It's not related to the type of food that you eat, though it is important. But the idea of intermittent fasting is an eating pattern. When do you fast and when do you eat? That's why it's called intermittent fasting. So it's all about the eating pattern, a fasting window as well as an eating window. It can be combined with any diet. Yes.
Actually, what is the benefit of intermittent fasting? Of course, other than just looking at weight loss, what are the other benefits of a person going through intermittent fasting?
Fasting, when I say fasting, I mean fasting, not starvation, which we will look at it later. So fasting by itself, when there is no food, no calories going into the body, you will kickstart an internal cleansing process called autophagy. And autophagy is when your immune system starts cleaning out all the dead cells, or any toxins, any waste that is locked or clogged in your in your cells. So your immune system will start to clean out all this that is locked in your muscles as well. So your immune system will clean out all this waste around you. And by doing that, you reduce inflammation. And we all know inflammation is the root cause of a lot of diseases.
In the market, I understand there are many intermittent fasting methods. Can you just probably share with us a couple of the popular ones?
Common ones, the most common one is 16-8. And then you will see other numbers like 5-2. Basically, 16-8 stands for 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating. The window, 8 hours window for eating, 16 hours window of fasting. 5-2 is 5 days window of eating, 2 days window of fasting. And sometimes you will see more drastic ones like 24 or 21-3, which means 20 hours of window of fasting and only 4 hours window of eating. So that's these are a few common ones in the market where people are practicing today.
I see. So basically, in your opinion, which is actually easier and more sustainable? Since we are talking about weight loss, so basically more sustainable for normal people like myself, not hardcore one, basically for weight loss, and why is that so?
I think the 16-8 would be more sustainable. Basically 16 hours of fasting, you still have the 8 hours of eating period, where in terms of nutrition, in terms of getting a better nutritional profile, you have the chance more meals. You have 2 meals of getting in the necessary nutritional profile. Your eating period is not too short, right? Then at the same time, most of us, assuming we sleep about 7 hours, so out of the 16 hours, 7 hours is already your sleeping hours, right? So it's easier to fast through the 16 hours than the 20 hours or the 21 hours.
So if a person decided that they want to fast in the daytime because they want to take breakfast,
Yep.
is fasting in the morning or in the daytime okay for our body?
It's still okay if you are saying that are you going to lose weight by fasting in the daytime instead of in the morning, instead of missing the breakfast, you're missing, say, a dinner or lunch, right? In terms of weight loss, yes, it's still okay. But in terms of efficiency, if you fast through the morning, it's more efficient because of our hormone changes, of hormone fluctuation throughout the day. If you do it in the morning, it's more efficient that way lah, for fat burning and for weight loss.
Because some people may mention that sometimes they don't take breakfast, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Since we talk about intermittent fasting, we may not be able to take breakfast if we go through the evening, the nighttime fasting. Say, for example, 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. I have some clients who say they don't take breakfast. Or alternatively, sometimes they take, sometimes they don't take. So on a day that they don't take, are they considered fasting?
No, if you do the 16/8, right, you will need like at least 3 days for the health benefits effect to kick in, better effect to kick in, and at the same time, it's also for your brain and the body to take it as real fasting for health benefits and not missing meals. If you don't stick to a routine, a proper routine, and you keep changing, then our mind will think and believe that it's not intermittent fasting. It is because you are in a starvation situation, you don't have enough food, so that's why you miss sometimes, you eat sometimes, and that will trigger a stressful event, a stress hormone. When that happens, when stress is triggered, you're not burning fat anymore. You are essentially going to keep more fats. So it has to be consistent
Okay.
over 3 days, at least over 3 days. So if someone is consistently doing intermittent fasting, they will lose weight. But if someone does, like today, I decide to skip breakfast, then the next 2 days I eat breakfast, then the following day I skip breakfast. So that is not considered fasting. That is considered stressing.
So we know that between 8 o'clock evening time till the next day 12 p.m. This is the fasting period.
Yep.
Correct. So which means to say that we can eat from 12 to 8.
Yep.
So during this period of time, are we able to eat anything that we like as much
Well,
as we want, since we are going to fast anyway?
well, if you're going to go for weight loss and you're going to go through intermittent fasting, you kickstart your autophagy process, you get your immune system to clean out all the waste, improve your metabolic. Now, if when you open fast, if you say you decide to go for fast food because you have been fasting and you decide to go for fast food which has no nutrients, very little nutrition, which I call it negative nutrition meal, not a positive nutrient meal. So if you go for such things, you essentially are just going to clot the body with all those wastes that you have just cleaned out. So in the long run, there's no benefit in doing the intermittent fasting. It's the benefit of it is minimized. You still want to eat a healthy meal when you break the fast to ensure that your fat burning, your metabolic process is always high, is always kept to the very good fat burning level.
A lot of people may think the way they eat or the food they eat may be
It is
healthy.
healthy, yes.
So, what is considered healthy? Okay, in terms of proportion, we're not calculating using calculator or using cup to measure. But if let's say, for example, if you use our hand to measure in terms of proportion or quantity of food, what is considered the right proportion and what is considered nutritious?
Okay. The portion will differ from person to person because it depends very much on your or whether you're a male or a female. It also depends very much on your age, whether you are still growing or you are elderly, and also depends on your activity level, whether you're active or not active. I'm going to assume intermittent fasting with a general healthy diet. Say someone who is not very active, who is about 50 kilo, not very active, So basically, you want to look at about 2 to 2.5 or 2 to 3 palm size of protein protein sources. So you can use your palm size as protein. So one palm size is one serving. You need about 2 to 3 serving depending on your activity levels. And then for your vegetables, we always encourage people to eat 6 to 9 servings of vegetables. So if the vegetable is cooked, then this is half of your feast is about one serving. So one whole feast is already 2 servings. So if you eat 3 feasts a day, is 6 servings. It's not that difficult. So it's about 6 to 9 servings, and then you want a palm size of grains, whole grain if you can. If you can, if you cannot, it's fine. It's still a palm size of grain. And if your meat, the palm size of meat that you're eating, if you are not able to get all animal protein, in other words, if you are not able to get all chicken and fish and meat, you can substitute with plant-based protein like legumes and beans and soybeans and tofu. You can do that as well.
Another question that I commonly have is that during the fasting period, and some people just wanted to have their daily dose of coffee, caffeine.
Okay.
Are they able to drink coffee or tea during the fasting period?
They can. For weight loss or fat loss, you can take coffee and tea. For other disease management, sometimes we will omit, we will cut it out. You can take coffee and tea, black, no sugar, no milk.
Okay, no sugar, no milk. I understand that sugar basically is not good because there's also calorie. We have to cut sugar, but why no milk?
Because milk has lactose. Lactose is sugar.
The best thing is of course drink water because water is 0 calorie.
Yes.
How about supplementation? Are we able to take supplementation during this period of time at the same time during fast?
You can. If the supplement is pure and clean. By what I mean by pure and clean is there are some supplements that has a lot of coloring, that has a lot of flavoring, especially those for kids where you see those gummy bears that's a little bit sweet. Also liquid supplements. Sometimes they have a lot of flavoring. So those with the flavorings, no, you cannot take when you are fasting. But those that are without, just normal capsule with plain and clean, so those are fine. You can still take them when you're fasting. In fact, it is good as well to take them because there can be a risk of not eating a nutritionally balanced meal during that window, if the window is too short.
Okay. So especially those who are fasting for 20 over hours, that means
Yes.
probably 1 meal instead of 2.
Correct. So instead of, because some people they fast for 20 hours, or I've heard people doing for 21 hours, and then they only eat for 3 hours. Now, to be very honest, in that 3 hours, how much can you eat? You have to make sure that's why when you break fast, it is very important that you eat a nutritionally balanced meal. If your meal is not nutritionally balanced, then it is not a healthy way to lose weight. In fact, you may put everything back on when you go off intermittent fasting.
During the non-fasting period, okay, usually we have 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
So during the non-fasting period, are we able to take more meals? Perhaps smaller meals or snacking? Healthy snacks?
You can actually, you can. For weight loss, we will always say eat within your activity level.
Okay.
Yeah, even though you're fasting, you also should not be eating overly excessive amount of calories. The important thing that you want to focus on is your vegetables and your protein. Okay? So as long as you eat lots and lots of vegetables with adequate protein, then the grains, your other carbohydrates, your starch and your grains, those are fillers. That means if not enough, then you want to fill in, then you fill those in. So your main is always your vegetables and your protein. You look at these two first. Then your carbohydrate or your grains is secondary. Just take it as, not enough, then I fill it in. Yeah.
Okay, understand. So basically, even though you skip meal, or rather the term skip meal, you also need to make sure that they're actually fasting for more than 14 hours. Or else
Yes. Or else you're just skipping meals. Yeah.
Okay, now this is a question on behalf of my customers. So as you know that some of my customers went through our weight management program, a TR90 program. So it's
Yep.
more on the eating habit. So we have our 3-3-3-3 eating habit. That means basically
Yep.
means that our this amount of carbo,
Yep.
and this amount of protein, and this amount of fruits and vegetable.
Yep.
So we normally encourage 3 meals a day. But however, there's also some customer that usually wake up late, or they don't really take breakfast.
Right.
More or less, they probably take lunch or
Okay.
brunch
Okay.
in this case. So is it appropriate for them, all right, to take on this 16-8 fasting, whereby they can start fasting from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Anyway, they are not taking breakfast. Might as well fast throughout to 12 o'clock, then they start eating their lunch.
Yes, they can. They can. But they may want to, depending on what they are eating, they may want to just add additional vitamins, a multivite to that.
Because for the TR90 program, we do have supplementation. And
Okay.
usually in the morning, we do have multivitamins provided, and evening time after their dinner, that means after breakfast and after dinner, there's multivitamin. However, now there's no so-called breakfast to be taken, but when they wake up, they can still take the multivitamin, right?
Yes, they can.
In this case, you make the fat loss even more efficient. Am I correct to say that?
Yes.
Upcoming, we do know that Catherine do have 2 workshops coming up in relation to weight loss using keto, and the other one also keto for cancer. So of course, if you would like to know more about that, especially if you have friends or family member who are basically having cancer issues, you can feel free to add Catherine as your Facebook friend, and of course, like her Facebook page. Facebook page is Aman Wellness. Like the page because she update more on her workshop along the way. Upcoming, there are 2. So with that, that's the end of today's session. Thanks for dropping by, and thank you, Catherine, for your sharing.
Thank you, everyone.